What if business weren't just about profits, but about progress for people, planet, and purpose? Through our Aim to Flourish program, students are discovering real enterprises doing exactly that. Hello, my name is Megan Buchter, and I'm the Executive Director at the Fowler Center for Business as an Agent of World Benefit at the Weatherhead School of Management at Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Ohio. The Fowler Center exists with a vision of a world where business prospers, human beings thrive, and nature flourishes. One of our key initiatives at the Fowler Center is the Aim to Flourish program, which collaborates with professors and universities worldwide. Through this program, students interview business leaders and social entrepreneurs from companies they admire and write stories highlighting how business is a force for good in the world. These stories are published on the Aim to Flourish website, highlighting transformative business innovations that rise to meet today's challenges and pave the way for a flourishing tomorrow. Additionally, every year we honor stories through our Flourish Prizes, a recognition to celebrate bold innovations that don't just respond to change, but anticipate what's needed for a flourishing world. With the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals as our compass and an ever-overlapping ecosystem of needs, health, environment, inclusion, economic well-being, the Flourish Prizes are awarded in 5 thematic categories, each reflecting a critical area of focus. Health, well-being, and human development. Sustainable societies and economies. Climate action and environmental regeneration. Social inclusion and innovation. And catalysts for change and collaboration. Welcome to our Aim to Flourish Speaker Series, where we bring you the stories of leaders and innovators from around the world, a way to celebrate our Flourish Prize honorees who have dared to do business differently. This series is about more than ideas. It's about impact. We're glad you're here. Let's begin. I'm so excited because today I get the chance to speak with Rodrigo Lañado from Hombres de Maíz in Mexico about his innovation. And Hombres de Maíz is one of our Flourish Prize finalists for our new category, Climate Action and Environmental Regeneration. And if you haven't had the chance to read the Aim to Flourish story about this organization, it's beautifully written and an amazing story. And so I'm so excited to learn more from you today, Rodrigo, and really just dive into hearing about your organization, how it started, what the inspiration behind it is, and the impact that you're seeing. So welcome. Really nice to have you here with me today.
Sure, absolutely. I'm very glad to be here and to share a little bit of our work with everybody else. So sure, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you. If you could just go ahead and tell us, start by just telling us a little bit about kind of what Hombres de Maíz is and a little bit about how you got the organization started.
Okay, well, Hombres de Maíz is a organization that is dedicated to teach people in general how to build their own homes, how to produce their own food, how to harvest and manage their own water and energy in the most efficient and simple way possible. So they can achieve a certain degree of self-sufficiency. We're dedicated mostly to marginalized areas and indigenous communities in the beginning. Right now, we have expanded on many other sectors of our country. Right now, we work with other companies, organizations, rather public or private organizations with the same direction, the same objective. We tend to use architecture, biology, mathematics, and other sciences to achieve these goals.
Very interesting. So again, how did you get started with this organization? And then I'd love to after that maybe dive into a little bit of kind of the diverse offerings of your venture.
Well, it started almost 20 years ago, professionally 15 years ago.
Okay.
I was doing my career. I don't know how you say it when you're about to finish, your school, your bachelor degree. You have to give certain social service. But I was volunteering in a center in a rural area in Mexico, in Guanajuato, that was focused on teaching people how to manage water. You know, dry toilet, harvesting water systems, biofilters, etc. And at the same time, we were giving high school or primary teachings to the local people. You know how to get their degree for primary school and stuff. You could say a certain degree of alphabetization. So when I started doing these kind of projects for the rural area, we installed a water harvesting system for one of the schools. So after that, we started to install these systems with local materials. We didn't use materials that we bought from other place or anything like that. We were reusing. We were trying to adapt what we had in that moment to do and to install these systems in their homes and schools and whatever. And I could see the change, you know, in people's lives. But what it inspired me the most is that everything was done with the same people who has having the problem. It wasn't the authorities. It wasn't anybody else. It was the people itself. And you could see how it changed their character, their looks, their life. And from that on, I decided to learn everything else that could help people to be more self-sufficient. So I learned a little bit of architecture, how to make, you know, super Adobe, and other earth building techniques, bamboo and stuff like that. I learned a little bit of wetland systems and many other subjects in order for me to teach other people how to do this themselves. So we have been doing this for 15 years now. Things have become a little bigger. I don't know how to say it. Have become more complex, but at the same time, our ability to cover many sectors and our range has increased a lot. Right now, we are even working with entire neighborhoods. There's a really fancy, nice neighborhood in Merida that is in the south of Mexico that we designed with German and actually people from the United States. We made a team and we designed the fraccionamiento. How do you say it? Like a neighborhood? Yeah, a closed gated community for probably, I don't know, around 4,000 people, something like that. And all the community has its own water harvesting system, their own retreatment system. So it's actually it's 100% sufficient in water. We're talking about water. There are 100 self-sufficiency. And we translated that technology, for example, to a community in Oaxaca for the indigenous people of Yutenino with a high degree of success. So we right now have the experience, we have the team, we have the resources to apply this in multiple levels. And basically, we have been doing this for 15 years. But my passion is to teach people. Not only to make projects, but to teach people. I love to see when people use this knowledge to improve their own lives. That's the most rewarding thing I have ever experienced.
Yeah, I remember reading that part of your story about your passion for teaching. And so I'm curious, what came first, though? Was it the teaching, like the organization was focused on teaching, or was it focused on
Yes.
the water management, or more of the like architecture, like the environmental kind of like, you know, architecture in harmony with the environment? Like, you know, there are all these aspects to your business. So like what came first?
Teaching. Teaching was the first. Yes, teaching was the first. Especially the first subject we were covering in courses and lectures and conferences and rural classes was water. That was our first main subject, so to speak. Later on, we moved to architecture because the people needed some classrooms. So we needed a solution to build fast, cheap, and affordable, and that the people could participate. So we started digging a little bit on Super Adobe, Bajareke, other traditional building systems. Then from architecture, we moved to soil restoration. That was the thing that I studied at school was soil restoration. That's my specialty. And then we moved to energy and other systems. It's permaculture in general, so to speak. Yeah.
It seems like a pretty big organization. Like how big, depending on how you want to define that, like how big have you gotten?
Well, I started by my own.
Right.
I started alone, but right now you could say we are a team of around 40 to 50 people right now, among architects, engineers, people that are the building team, etc., etc.
And what are like some of the different projects that you have that your team is working on?
Right now, or that we
Either
have done
way,
in the
yeah,
past.
either that you're working on now. I know you mentioned like the neighborhood, but like are there
Yes.
other ones that you're working on, or maybe some that have been your favorites that you've worked on in the past?
Yeah, sure. Well, my favorite in the past would be, yes, the community of Yutenino in Oaxaca. It was amazing. It
Okay.
was an amazing experience. It was amazing to live there for months, eating corn all day. Those are the real hombres de maíz, the real people of corn. They eat corn every day, 3 times per day. Everything is made of corn. You will be amazed. The soup is made of corn. The atole is made of corn. The dessert is made of corn. Everything is made of corn in Oaxaca. But people were very nice to work along with them all those months to build the school, to build the government office, because they needed a small government office, a small school, a vegetable garden, and some other things they needed to be recognized as a community by the local state. You have to have certain degree of infrastructure for the government to say, okay, so you are in the legal terms, you're a community, and you can ask us, the electric power and stuff like that. So it was amazing to see a whole town, to be built from nothing, from the scratch, and all the people did it themselves. I could see people over, I don't know, the most extreme case was a lady about, honestly, it was like 90 years old or 88 years old. I'm not really old, carrying all this mulch for the vegetable garden, like 100 kids doing mud bricks. And it was something that I never saw, in my life before. All the community like doing stuff, we were used to people just asking for resources, or you're asking people to solve their problems. But I never saw like people really working, and it was amazing. It was amazing. We gave the capacitation, the teaching, the technical teaching on how to do stuff. They already knew a lot of stuff. Let me tell you that. We only gave them probably some important points on how to do it faster, things like that. But that was an amazing project. And right now, we are involved in a project that we are actually developing in this zone in Zacatlan. We want to develop, like, I don't like the term eco village. I don't know why I don't like it that much, but you could say we trying to develop our own community. It's more like a transition town. You could call it a transition town. Uh, we want to achieve the possibility of hosting 550 people here at the mountains. All sustainable systems, harvesting water, harvesting sun power, everything. We just got the land. We got the piece of territory we need to do it. We got the team. We got the tools. Right now, we're on the designing phase. and we want to do a place that works around an academia, around a teaching place. So basically, my idea is that the people from the local area could get to the school free of charge at around 16 years old, and they could spend more or less 4 years studying there, living there, eating there, washing their own clothes there, everything for 4 years. And then at the end, they come up as engineers, in permaculture engineers with a true formation in the field that could apply this knowledge in their own communities and etc. Obviously, to get the resources we need in exchange. These kids or these people are going to be working in the village as it is, and we're gonna be hosting events along the year. We're gonna have the Halloween season, the Christmas season, the Easter season. All these thematic weeks, and to sell products and everything. I think it's absolutely possible, viable, and we have this economic plan that we will implement. And with nice architecture and with discipline, I think that is absolutely attainable.
It's so interesting, so cool. And that's close to the town that you're in right now, right?
Yes, 15 minutes.
That's great. That's great. I think, what I love about your story is that, we talk about climate action and some of the things that, maybe need to happen in order to really help support the environment. And it's so hard to change. Like when you're already doing something one way, it's so hard to make those changes in a sustainable way. And I know that, you just said you don't like the term eco village, but you're building this change from the ground up. And I just think that that's such an impactful way of making change, where you have the whole community involved in kind of creating a village, a community that's just sustainable naturally, instead of taking a community that's already and trying to change what they're doing. So I think what you're doing is really beautiful. The story is really beautiful. I'm curious if you could maybe tell us some stories about the impact that you've seen, maybe on the community members or maybe even people that have been involved in projects with you.
Sure. Well, basically, all the team here in Hombres de Maíz, and all the people that work with us, and even people who had taken our workshops, we all agree that the system as we know it is starting to crumble. Change is coming on the way. We are using the approach of the fungi. What we're doing is we are feeding from the rot of the system itself, rather to fight against it. We're feeding from it. So we are convinced that the system, as talking about countries and governments and everything, I don't think it's going to be possible to change it in a certain way, because it has its own rules. But we think that we can create these small, cellular communities everywhere in many parts, and make our own system from the inside, create our own game rules. I know that many people is trying to do the same. There's many experiments going on right now in the world in this kind of communities. We know it. We are just trying to propose a new approach, probably more in the middle, because more other communities try to be like in the old times, to make things like in the old times. Let's go back to the 700s, I don't know. And many other people like, oh, let's go to century 22 and everything is going to be, super technological and stuff. No, we're in the middle, we try to pay tribute and respect for the elders' wisdom, but we try to complement with the power of the present, respect the respect of the past, but, combine it with the power of the present. So we think that when we have applied this vision, when the people that work with us or for us or whatever have applied this approach, we have seen really successful stories. There's one of our guys, our teachers that have been traveling a lot. He went to Japan, Chile, and many other parts, and he is giving this technological advice on communities that are already being built, on how to create prosperity for the people inside the community, complementing ecological procedures and processes with the economical approach, from using, I don't know, crypto that is right now is very, how do you say it, mainstream, the subject right now. But on how to produce things in the cheapest way possible, but at the same time, with a zero impact possible. And he has been doing great. The communities, for example, that we have been given these lectures, these workshops, I have seen how they have implemented this in their towns, in their houses, and you could see the prosperity that it comes with that. Knowledge is power, totally, but just when you apply it.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you hope people learn from you?
That people is more powerful than they think. That the power of will is amazing if you really believe that something could be achievable. If you project the direction you want to get, and you apply discipline and force of will, everything can be possible. And I want people to learn that the road to independence, for true independence, is self-sufficiency. There's no other way. And you can do a lot for your own life. You don't have to be expecting a savior or a government to solve your own problems. You can do it yourself.
That's great. That's beautiful. I am curious where the name came from. So the organization name, Hombres de Maíz, where did that come from?
It's a Mayan legend from the south of Mexico. When I was traveling back there, everybody has, this sabbatical year where you go, somewhere far, and sometimes you eat strange things along the way and things. So, and that's like my spiritual year, kind of, sort of speak. And I was in the south, and I heard this local legend from the Mayans that is called the legend of Yumcax. It's a god on the south in the Mayan area. It's called Yumcax. It's the god of corn, the god of life. And supposedly the legend says that this god, after 4 times, humanity has been destroyed 4 times. The first time humanity was made from wood, then the second humanity, I think, was made from stone, and then, earth and blah, blah, blah. So the last humanity was made from corn. Yumcax made it. And the humanity made from corn was really nice. Supposedly, that's something that is very interesting about the legend, is that the god took corns from different colors, white, yellow, black, and red and stuff. And he made the different races, of people. It's kind of cool. So basically, when humanity was remade and was living in the world and everything, he felt pity because people was living in damp caves and with no food and no clothing and stuff. So he sent his own sons to the world to teach them how to build their houses, how to provide food, how to how to live better. So I said, yes, that's the thing that I want to do. That's the thing I want to dedicate my life. And I don't know, I like the legend, and I said, hey, yeah, let's call the organization Hombres de Maíz. We're doing the work that Yumcax wanted us to do. I like to see it that way. Yeah.
That's the perfect name for your organization.
Thank you very much.
That story really just brought it all together. That is exactly what you're doing. And I think that is so amazing. I have kind of a different kind of question for you that we'd love to ask all of the entrepreneurs and the leaders that we interview, and that's this. So, like, let's imagine that tonight you go to bed and you just have the best sleep that you've ever had in your life because
Mhm.
when you wake up, it's been 5 years.
Oh,
And so
okay.
you've slept for 5 years, but when you wake up, everything that you've wanted to accomplish has happened. So you put this in motion, you put this organization in motion, and when you wake up, everything has happened that you wanted to accomplish. What do you see?
Wow, what a question! What a question! It's like Steven Seagal, the scenario in one of his movies, but in the good side. Wow. Mm, what I see. Okay, I see people giving more time for deep connection with others, giving more importance to the destination rather than the speed of going anywhere. You know, for me, the destination is more important than the speed. So I see people living, you know, accordingly to that philosophy in a harmony with nature. You know, understanding that it's important to care for what we love, our own people and our own world. People actually saying, "Hey, you know what? We don't have to be buying the last stuff that comes up. We don't need to do that. We rather have to think on the things that make us happy and give us purpose." Yes, I see people living more on how do you say it, a true purpose, a true meaning, rather than just trying to survive or just trying to compete. Probably that would be my dream come true.
I love that. I hope that we get a chance to live in that world. I hope for sure that I get a chance to live in that world. I think that that's a wonderful vision.
I think it's attainable in a small community.
Yeah.
I think it's attainable. There's many sociological studies that says that in communities around 550 people is attainable. I think that if we mixed permaculture with AI in a certain level, we don't need like general artificial intelligence. We don't need to get into that far. I don't think it's necessary. I think that what we already have right now, it's enough to make a really functional community that can, you know, have the power of permaculture and AI. And I think that we can get something very interesting in the way. I think it's possible in the small scale.
I think so too. And I love the way that you're helping these small communities and just like helping rebuild them and just create these communities that are more sustainable for the long term, but not only in that like environmental, like sustainable way, but also just in the kind of the social and like community
Mhm.
purpose sense as well. I think that's really impactful, and your story and your organization kind of just really hit all of those different points. And so that's why I think it's such a beautiful organization, and the story that was written on Aim to Flourish was just such a beautiful story about what you're trying to do.
Thank you very much. Well, we're trying to give to the world the first blueprint of a functional community. That's what we're trying to make, and I hope we can do it. Of
Me
course,
too. And
our team is
I
awesome.
hope that we get to be a part of like helping share that story. And so,
Sure,
then
Megan.
other people around the world will get the chance to read the story on our Aim to Flourish site or watch this video when it comes
Or
out.
visit in the future. You can visit us and stay any
I
as
would
long
love
as you
that.
want.
I would love that. I want to come and see this like small town where you're at and walk around. It looks very, very picturesque.
Yes, it's gonna be really nice. It's gonna be really nice. I promise you.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear the updates and kind of see where everything goes. So I don't have any more questions for you. Is there anything else that you want to share before we kind of wrap up?
No, no, no. Just to thank you for the time, to thank you for the space you're giving us, thank you for to the ones that collaborated in the article and the one who made it. I'm really grateful with him, and we're gonna continue doing our work, and we promise we're gonna deliver.
That's great. I can't wait. I just can't wait. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see where your organization goes. And I am also thankful for the students that wrote the story about your organization. And I'm thankful that I get to kind of help uplift that and continue to share it with the world. I hope that it serves the purpose to inspire others, because what you're doing is really powerful. And I'm happy to get the chance to talk to you today.
Thank you, Megan. I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was really nice. This was really nice.